We are with Prague right now, the European Capital of Sport 2016. And at my right side, I have the Lord Mayor, Thomas Hodacek. Mr. Mayor, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Fine, thanks.
And at my left side, I had the Deputy Mayor, Lucas Manhart. How are you, Mr. Manhart?
Fine, thank you.
Welcome to Brussels, both of you.
Thanks.
We have here as well our delegate in the Czech Republic, Lucas Boyle. Good morning.
Morning.
And always our president and founder, Mr. Lupatelli. Mayor, finally you won against Torino. Good victory, European Capital of Sport. Good prize.
This is a great achievement of our work in the municipal house.
And try to defend a little bit the sport policy of the city and how to present the sport idea of Prague to the rest of Europe.
As the mayor, I focused on a sport part of budget, and since 2012 till 2014 we enlarged the part of the budget more than twice. So nowadays we spent more than 400 million crowns for all sport events, grants, etc.
Mr. Manhart, great victory finally against Palermo. The difference was height. I mean, Prague showed us really a good candidature. Well done work. Congratulations. Could you define a little bit what is the sense of the sport in Prague and what Prague gonna do in the coming years?
First of all, I would like to say that to win this title for the year 2016, it's a great honor for Prague. And you were in our city in spring this year, and I am very grateful, and I like the fact that actually fulfilled all the conditions that are set up by ASS committee. So, as Mr. Mayor said, lately, in last 2 years, we enhanced the budget of money that we invest into sport, into infrastructure and into sport events to promote sport activities in Prague and try to attract more people, more children towards sport that we all know is necessary and crucial point in these days. So for the future, actually, we would like to continue in these activities. As Mr. Mayor said, our ambition is to actually even get more money into sport and to promote sport of handicapped people and sport of senior people. And as I said, try to attract more people, more children towards sport.
Very good and very interesting, Mr. Borel, right? You were in Prague and yes. You know perfectly how is the sport in the Czech Republic, not only in Prague, but also, I don't know, Most, Spitiavi, a lot of cities in Strava.
Sport is a major part of the Czech culture as a heritage. And I see the future as well. When I look around around the clubs, around the infrastructure that's been built during the last years in the country, I see the opportunity, and I hope as well that our initiative, I mean ASIS Europe, brings in even some new impulses and motivation to those cities to enhance, to enlarge the sporty idea of life. I'm also very happy to be a part on the team that was in Prague to help Prague to win this award, and hope that Prague will profit strongly from the fact in the future. I hope that all the sportsmen, all the politicians involved will understand this award as a major added value coming from Europe and will deal with it in the best way ever.
I really spent 4 days incredible in Prague in terms of sport, and whenever I come again to Prague, a couple of weeks ago I was in Prague because I had a trip to Ostrava. I always remember the marathon. It was amazing, Mayor. What a big event, what a lot of people, what a big athletes. Congratulations, because this is not an activity of 1 year or 2 years. It's an activity of a lot of years ago. Could you explain to the audience a little bit what is the Marathon of Prague and what is the sense of this marathon?
is not just the only run through the streets in Prague, because we have more than 3 or 4 more than 10 kilometers run in the streets every year. But the marathon is the most famous, definitely. There is also a half marathon in I think March, March or April. And I think it's unforgettable event because running through the historical city from 13th, 14th century along the riverside and starting and finishing on Old Town Square, I think it's an unforgettable event.
How do you want the people remember Prague as European capital of sport? I mean, in the next 10 or 20 years, if someone talked to you about the European capital of sport, how do you?
We want to attract a lot of championships. We had, of course, championships in the past. We hosted 2 from 3 last Fed Cup finals, also Davis Cup finals. We are really keen to continue in cooperation with all these runners' organization for marathon, half marathon, etc. But the focus nowadays is to enlarge the infrastructure for normal amateur sports, for teenagers, for seniors, also for handicapped.
Very interesting. And I have another interesting thing to remember from Prague. Emil Zatopek, the big athlete, used to say something like, an athlete don't have to run with money in the pockets, must run with hope in the heart and optimism in the brain. Very good phrase that I used to remember from Prague. What a beautiful this athlete and what a legacy he left in the city and all around Europe, Mr. Mahar.
Yeah, I think sport must be and should be about the spirit, about the motivation, about ambition. The fact is that in these days, with all this professional sport that is logically connected with money, people shouldn't forget that sport is also about spirit, about doing something for yourself, for your actually life. And I think we shouldn't remember this, we shouldn't forget it. So I think Mr. Zatopek and his motto should be actually fact and should be true even today when we compare professional sport with amateur sport. So what we want to show Prague as a supporter of amateur sport, of supporter of sport of children and of senior people. I think we shouldn't forget this part of sport.
Very, very nice what you have said, and absolutely agree with you. Mr. President, something to add? ¿Algo que añadir?
Sì, io sono italiano.
He's Italian.
And Palermo, Praga, penso che è stata una grande vittoria di Praga.
A great victory of Prague.
Quindi Praga, che sarà capitale europea del sport nel 2016, tiene un anno di preparazione.
You have 1 year to prepare a big year of sport in 2016.
Torino, che prenderà la bandiera questa sera, ha già organizzato per il 2015 800 eventi.
Torino has prepared 800 events and activities for the 2015.
800 eventi, non grandi eventi,
Not big events,
ma piccoli eventi,
small events,
nei rioni, nelle zone, nelle circoscrizioni, nelle scuole, nelle università.
in all communities, universities, schools.
Ecco, farà sport come Praga 365 giorni come l'ha hecho Antwerpen.
A sport all the year, 365 days.
Quindi l'importante è che la capitale europea dello sport deve fare 365 giorni di sport, 54 settimane.
So a commitment of doing a sport during 54 weeks a year, 365 days.
Lo sport per i cittadini, lo sport per il popolo, lo sport anche dei campioni. Ma
The sport for citizens and the sport for everybody. The sport for all.
Sport è para todos.
So you have a big challenge, eh?
It is.
It is. And you do.
Actually, the fact is, and as I said, we are grateful for this fact that actually we fulfilled all the conditions. So we would like to show the present actually state of sport in Prague in 2016, and also try to make new projects for children, for senior people, for handicapped. And but the base we will set up on the current state of sport in Prague, and try to promote it with the respect for the title European Capital of Sport 2016. And we hope that this title will help us, for example, use budgets, European budgets within Erasmus Plus program. And we hope that this title will help us to attract more people to sport.
Thank you very much, Mr. Marhart, and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Lord Mayor, thank you very much, congratulations, and one thing, I love Prague.
Me too. Me too.
Thank you very much. We come back with more interviews and protagonists.